After the Villa game, I was stressing balls that we were not going to be able to get, or at least not get over the line, but to make it as hard for ourselves as we possibly can. But you know what? In true Arsenal form, they go and bottle it at home to West Ham.
Yeah, boy.
Thank you. Not for the result, because that could have happened anything, but just to shut the Arsenal fans up for at least another week. You know what I mean? Oh, no, it's okay. We'll be magnanimous in that kind of sense. Well, listen, City 0, Liverpool 2, and that was a domination. I can't remember a game ever in my life where a team had about 30% possession and absolutely dominated another team. It was crazy. It was one of those games I felt where, the main takeout that I got out of this game was that Liverpool had gone up another level in terms of their playing style. Listen, when we look back at the Klopp era, right? When Klopp was competing against Pep Guardiola's City side, magnificent and impressive Manchester City. Let's not fucking ever get that twisted. They've been the best team for the better part of a decade, barring a couple of wins here and there by you know how it goes. But by and large, Man City has been the dominant. Pep Guardiola's teams have been the dominant force in football for almost 20 years now. That is just staggering and almost unheard of. So it was something that Gary Neville, I don't necessarily listen to that tit, but he did mention something quite interesting, and it's something that I've picked up as well, was this idea of how football is now changing. And in a way where the possession-based football seems to be diminishing, and people are now thinking about, well, how can you play a lot more direct style? Look, if I look at a Pep Guardiola team, I mean, they were playing verticals and horizontals, right? 2-meter passes, like death by football. I mean that's tiki-taka football. That's what Pep essentially created. Then Pep created another type of football, the inverted fullback. Pep created the false nine. Like I said, he created the inverted fullback. Pep has been responsible for some of the most innovative football tactics and shapes in the last decade. I've got to give it up to the man. But it just feels like there is a seismic shift happening in football at the moment. Look at teams like Nottingham Forest. For example, look at teams like Liverpool, right, where possession isn't the all and end all of everybody football. Look, 10 years ago or 15 years ago, when Messi was running fucking things and passing people like left, right, and center, it was something that was like, wow, if you don't do that, then you are going to be left behind. And so all the clubs kind of scrambled for these kind of coaches that could play the tiki-taki way. I know we got Brendan Rodgers for his time when he was playing at Swansea. So we brought that in. To largely mediocre success, but it was Jurgen Klopp who came with a little bit more of a direct style, a lot more vertical, but it was heavy metal football or bust. So the point that I'm making right now, and this is the whole crux of what I wanted to say about this video, is how Arne Slot has changed us into a team that can play in many different styles, depending on the opposition. So we and you know what, we can play many different styles within one game even. So back to Manchester City and Liverpool, and there was a moment where Liverpool played out from the back, right? So that's tight, right? Playing out from the back, Alisson to Konate, blah 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 blah, and it was a really beautifully worked move where the passes just went 2-meter passes, back, and unfortunately we couldn't score it. But that for me was the outlier of the game, because when I watched us play against Man City yesterday, what really was apparent is how comfortable we looked in moments. Because Trent Alexander-Arnold still has to fucking defend, but by and large looked really, really comfortable not having the ball. And also kind of saying, well, you know what, City, we're gonna stuff your passing lanes. We're just gonna put bodies in there. Right? We're just gonna put bodies in there, and you're gonna have to go wide. You're gonna have to cross the ball in and see how you fare against Konate and Virgil van Dijk. That was the strategy. And it was brilliant. Absolutely fucking brilliant. I thought that Arne Slot was merely a tinkerer. He was just, a manager. That kind of like typical managers who just kind of, they just kind of get the ball rolling and just keep the things going. What I didn't realize was somebody who deeply thinks about football all the time. I watched an interview about him, and it's in there where he was saying, like, he almost doesn't sleep. He watches football almost 24 hours a day. He's always thinking about football. And that's pretty clear after yesterday's resounding victory over Man City. Because I saw a team yesterday that at 30% possession and Man City had the ball, it was as if Man City didn't know what to do with it. And it was brilliant, because we all know that City is not going to play a low block. City is going to come for you. And you never really have that much ball possession. So I found it a very bold and risky move to say, you know what, let City have the ball. But when we're going to counterattack, we're going to counterattack hard. And we're gonna hit you with some set pieces, which we did. Brilliant set piece, by the way. Beautifully worked by Maka, Szoboszlai, and finished off by Salah. It was absolutely beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So, coming away from that game, after the Villa game where I wasn't one of those people going absolutely fucking mental because we didn't win and fucking Darwin Núñez. Like, I knew that the Aston Villa result we would only know how good or bad it was based on our following results. So if we lost against City yesterday, the Villa result would have been a bad one. Now, in hindsight, when we look back at it, probably wasn't that bad, because let's face it, Villa away is a fucking tough game. So to get that, I had to take a little bit of stock and say, you know what? I've now been part of this whole, this fan culture when we were going on all these title runs. I'm not somebody who's going to get excited just yet. I've been excited. I was all in the season before, and that season before, and that season before, and we fucking came up like with goose eggs. So my whole point, or the way I approach this whole season, is that look, we go one game at a time. It's only the next game, and it's only the next game, and we can only go to the next game instead of getting ahead of ourselves. So, doing these videos also the next day gives me a little bit of time to actually think about what I saw, and what I saw yesterday was absolutely brilliant. Absolutely, it was a masterclass. That second half was an absolute masterclass in just holding City at bay. City was looking for the knockout. It's like when you're watching two boxers, what is that, Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor, he just wanted to fucking land a haymaker, and all Floyd Mayweather did was just like, and then pop, 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 pop. I don't know if you guys remember that fight, but anyway, the analogy I was making is like, somebody who's really going for the knockout, and the other one just kind of like bobbing and weaving, and then waiting for their chances and finishing your opponent off it was slow poison. It was one of those kind of things. I enjoyed this win even more than the one we gave them at Anfield, because this was away, this was City, this was almost like the changing of the guard, and I could see how much it meant to every single person. Every person put everything out yesterday. Dominic Szoboszlai is my man of the match, right? When I look at Dominic Szoboszlai from the Klopp era, I see a pretty boy. I see a boy with nice hair and beautiful, like, manicured eyebrows, when I see a Dominic Szoboszlai in a slot fucking team, I'm seeing someone who's lying on the pitch at the end of the game, completely tapped out. He gave it all. Gave it all. Put it all on the line yesterday. What a fucking season he's having. After that drop-off at the second half of last season, he started so well. And then he had the drop-off and I thought, oh my God, this is going to be another one of those fucking signings that just never really go from there. So to see him really step up and score and an assist. Salah, a score and an assist. 36 GA, goals and assists this season. Top man. Get the fuck in there, Salah, man. Holy shit. He's on 20 goals already. I think it's like a lot more for all comps. But just in the Premier League, he's been absolutely, again, spectacular. He took the initiative away from Man City. And that's all we can want. So, where does that leave us now? Well, 11 points clear on Arsenal with having played a game more. They've got a tough game against Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest has kind of like dropped off. And we've got a tough game against Newcastle at Anfield. So, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Look, there's one hand on the trophy. Of course, you can kind of like feel it. I'm not going to get mad at everything like that. But having suffered the trauma of the last couple of years, having been in front and having lost it, I'm not going to get out of my seat until it's absolutely mathematically impossible for for Arsenal to make a comeback. I reckon about 7 games to go. 11 points, if we still got 11, if we're still 11 ahead with 7 points to go, that's when I'm going to be like celebrating, because I just don't see it. There's not enough games for Arsenal to kind of make a comeback. So, yeah, look, I know with everything going on that it's a great high. We're all feeling really super pumped. I still can't get over this idea that our season could have gone the way Arsenal's season have gone with the injuries. And the way our owners have set back. Look, I know this is not the time to talk about this kind of things, but when are you going to talk about it? When it fucking happens? Like, I'm still fucking pissed off that we didn't get any help defensive cover for ourselves. Honestly. And also the whole contract situations with Virg, Salah and Trent starting to piss me off, because I'm like, listen, fucking sort it out now. Okay? But anyway, those are small little things that are like minor gripes, and in considering the bigger picture, it's fine. It's fine. Listen, we got another couple of tough games to go. It's not over. Like I said, 7 games left for me. That's when I'm going to start thinking about this championship. But until then, we've got work to do. It's the next game. It's Newcastle United. It's going to be another big challenge. It's important that we get points. I'm not even talking about 3 points. I'm just talking about keep the momentum going. Anyways, Reds, it fucking feels great today. But yeah, we got so much more work to do, and it's looking very likely we're going to be celebrating come the 10th of May, and quite possibly, Arsenal will have to do the fucking guard of honor for us. If we go on from now all the way until the 10th of or the 3rd of May, winning all of our games, Arsenal has to give us the guard of honor, and wouldn't that be fucking excellent? Anyways, let's do all that lovely stuff. Like, share, subscribe, all that lovely things for the algorithm. My name is Siraj. This is Red in the Head. I'll see you guys at the next one. Take care. Boom.